What is up, y'all? Today we're going to be doing my monthly favorites for the bygone now month of October 2021. Things just got backed up towards the end of the month with all of the Sephora sale and Halloween and everything. If you're looking for the Sephora sale recommendations video, it came out on Wednesday, so that will be, I don't know, I can link it if you want. And for VIB Rouge, in all of our ridiculous glory, the sale starts today as of the release of this video. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about all the random things that have been making me extra happy this month, besides the Halloween parade put on by my child's daycare. The years 2016 through 2020 made me default to less happy. That parade cured me. I am now back to a normal amount of default happiness. Anyway, y'all know how favorites work. Let's go ahead and do them. Yeah, I don't know, guys. About my look, about anything today. I'm just kind of vibing. Should we put my hair up? That'll look good in the thumbnail. Hey. Okay. First things first, we have something that I regret to inform you is actually fantastic in limited edition. It's on my face right now. This is the Glossier CookieButterBalm.com. This is a banger. Y'all, they really went out there and did it. I thought that coconut would be my favorite forever. BirthdayBalm.com is very, very good, but it does have glitter, which is not everybody's thing. This does have a tint to it, and it's, you know, slightly tannish brown, the way that you might imagine a cookie butter being. But I've heard no complaints from my husband, who uses it all the time. It doesn't have any glitter, and it smells like freaking Biscoff. Like all of my gluten-y dreams. Things that I have not had in so many years. It's incredible, it smells great, and you know, it's got beeswax and lanolin in it, so it actually functions. I need to go ahead and just say my piece about my skin, because I feel like my credibility has gone out the window as far as recommending anything right now, because my entire body, mainly my face though, looks so dehydrated. I got all this new makeup and I've been trying all these new things, and I'm literally like, why does no makeup work? Everything that I'm trying is terrible. And then I realized it's like, no, my skin is just so stinking thirsty. It like drinks up the first 3 layers of anything that I put on it. So welcome to my favorites, by the way. We never get to the point, but these are gonna be stocking stuffers. I have already ordered several more of them to just play Santa Claus with. I mean, is there anything more sort of holiday than something that already smells like a holiday cookie? Oh, cray! It feels like it's been about 12 years since this, oh no.
Oh no, it's a rainy day. Yum, 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 yum.
Since this came out, oh my god, where is it? I have all of them except this one. Where it? Oh no. When you have way too much makeup. LOL, I'm so relatable. Hey! Okay. So it feels like it's been about a year since this came out already, just because the holidays have been slapping us left, right, and sideways with new releases. But I tend to write down my favorites during the month as I have them on a list on my phone, which is really fun to find later. Mainly because I know that I'm going to forget. I cannot rely on my own memory. So this was on my list, and for very good reason. This is the new Wayne Goss Tourmaline palette, luxury palette in tourmaline. If y'all didn't watch this review, I was basically surprised myself in real time. And that actually really surprised me. Something that I was pleasantly surprised about, but it's just kind of like not what I expected. I keep saying it's different and not what I expected, and I feel like that sounds negative. I want to say I love this. I had gotten a chance to try it a couple of times, but the main thing here that just continues to surprise me every time I use it is how like for me this is, because I'm so stinking pale, and I was super prepared for this to be so saturated that it was gonna make it impossible for me to use, because there's no relief here. You know, it's all deep, 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 medium, 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 medium. There's not a whole lot of like bright that's going to be able to bail you out of a situation when things get too dark on super pale skin. But it's super sheer, like super medium saturation, very pretty sheer shades that, you know, you can probably I think, you know, build up on a lot of different skin tones, but I was really surprised at how easy they were to apply to my skin because they do go on in a really nice, even way. They don't like stamp on my skin, but like, look how even those swatches are. If you're new here, I would like to say the thing that I'm probably the worst at, besides planning a video ahead of time, is swatching. And those are gosh darn pretty. Those make me look like I know what I'm doing. Also, the Celestial shade in this palette is very, very, very different from, oh, come on, it's just my mouth. From the other Celestial shades that I have, like from other brands, but also from other Celestial shades in his palettes because there's no pigment behind it. It's just a little scattering of gold glitter. And so it can be a real topper instead of opacicizing on top of whatever color and sort of covering it up. So it's like you can take any of the shades in the palette and then just sort of like sprinkle gold stars on top of it, which is how I like to treat all of the people in my life. Yeah, I have been really, really enjoying this palette because it's so much different than I expected it to be. It's so much more everyday wearable than I expected it to be. It is inspired by Hollywood glam. And I think that what it really does is like it rushes towards the middle. Oh, that's right, these are really obnoxious to open. In terms of being all kind of medium toned. And for that reason, when you blend them together, instead of it being like really contrasty, you end up with very subtle shifts between textures, very subtle shifts between shadow and light, and you end up with more of like just an overall more velvety transition. Easier to blend, much easier to blend because they're closer to each other. Cosmetics, you know, when I saw a cream blush stick from them, I thought I was definitely not going to be impressed because a cream blush at this point is like almost guaranteed to be a Me Too product. It's like, okay, I'm going to have seen it before. It'll be good, but it's not gonna blow my mind. And especially in the context of the fact that I had just tried the Victoria Beckham ones, which were $42 for a relatively small amount of product. And then I got these from them and I actually said the words in that video. I was like, these are so soft because they're so soft. This is like the smoothest, easiest to work with formula. It's really, really beautiful and consistent. And you guys watched in my trying new makeup video where I tried to give these a little bit more concentrated, dedicated attention. They go on really, really smoothly and mindlessly, really, effortlessly. And this color, Bitten, right here, it was like instant, at home on my cheeks. I just took a lap. Fjord's cheeks, Aspen cheeks, whatever you want to call them. It was that winter flush. And since it's so, so lightweight on the skin, the way that it kind of blends out, it's so sheer and it's not sticky at all. So I had my mind blown by this formula. It is special. Out of all the other cheek formulas that I've tried, you know, I kind of have to warp my language and do all these verbal gymnastics in order to describe the nuanced differences between them because a lot of times they really rush to the middle. It's like, it's kind of a cream, you know? But this is something kind of like the Thrive ones in the sense that they're silicone-y, so they wear incredibly lightly and they go to a finish that is not sticky, but they're so much creamier than that. So it's almost like the Westman Atelier sticks in the sense that they go on the skin really easily. Like you could tap them onto the skin instead of having to create friction in order to get it to come up on the skin. And that's why they're just so gosh darn soft. So they're special. And compared to some of the other things that I just compared them to, they're less expensive. It's $30 for quite an abundance of product. They come in some gorgeous shades and Bitten happens to be my new fave. So yeah, had to mention that. Another thing that I absolutely have to mention are the Danessa Myricks foil flaky things. They're called like Infinite Chrome Flakes, I think is what they're called. They are so well executed for what she was going for. You know, looking at that, whether that's something you want to put on your eyeballs or not, just from an aesthetic standpoint. And she does have more pigmenty ones like this, and then there are ones that are more texture-y. And oh yeah, I forgot about that. It's like a body glitter in the sense that like it's very jelly-y. So I just slung that everywhere. Dang it, Kackie. There's still plenty to go around. I didn't like spill it everywhere, but you know, don't be me. But this is probably one of the first products that I've ever seen that actually goes truly holographic. You know, it's like, it's got so much unicorn skin shift to it that I think that the clear one might go fully, like include all the rainbow colors. So I have Starburst and I don't know, the blue one racking around here somewhere. And they are just really, really exquisite. They're really cool. So like you can see here, that's it really spread out. But I just picked some up on my finger and that's what it looks like when you build it up. So all of those PR photos and everything that she has that are advertising this as like this, you know, crazy reflective, consistent, dense foil texture that you can get on your skin, it is really easy to achieve that look. She's not piling it up to an uncomfortable degree just for the sake of like an editorial photo. All you have to do is just not spread it out. And it does have a little bit, I think, it must be a little bit of alcohol or something in it so that it does dry down completely. You know, that's the best thing to do to make something evaporate. So there is a little bit of a sensation, right? When you put it on, it's a little bit like warm, like you notice it and then it goes away. But I think that that's just, you know, whatever the carrier is evaporating. I love these. I think that they are phenomenal. And like I said, what you're going for, what she, you know, I assume was going for, was very much like a nostalgic, but also futuristic Y2K. You know, Y2K was all about like the future as an aesthetic. And I feel like that's what this is kind of going for. But as far as the execution of the aesthetic, how easy it is to use and how it still feels present and even like forward looking, I think it's a perfect product. It's so awesome. And it's just so fun. It's easy and it's fun. I have a skincare product to share with you guys. So I got a bunch of stuff from Dermstore that I got to try earlier last month. And this thing has been knocking my socks off, okay? This is the new multi-acids and retinoid brightening sleeping facial from Allies of Skin. This is the first Allies of Skin product that I've ever tried. And I just saw on Instagram, they're doing some crazy 30% off site-wide right now. I don't even think that I have like an affiliate situation where I can even monetize an Allies of Skin link. If I can, I will, but regardless, you should get the discount, okay? 30% off on their website because these are not inexpensive products. And this is great. It is something you kind of use like 3 days in a row and then take, you know, a few days off from or whatever. And I have to be careful because retinol will make me pick my skin if I get in like really, really good lighting because it starts to make everything purge out. And I don't mean like zits. It just makes like, if you've got blackheads or something, clogged pores, it'll just clear the skin off the top of them and then they're just there. And that's very hard for me to resist. So I do have to be really mindful of that. And if you are a compulsive picker, this isn't the right product for you, but it is extremely effective. And what I love about it is that it's balanced. It's really gentle. So it's just a serum. You put it on kind of, I guess, first after you know, do your essences and whatnot, you know, but before moisturizers. It's a serum, it's relatively thin, and it's super, super effective without making my skin over dry, which is really, really nice. 7% AHA, BHA, 1% retinoid complex, 7 brighteners, and 5 antioxidants. So this is one of those things where, you know, it's expensive, but you're really getting the ingredients for the money. I hear nothing but good things about Allies of Skin, and now I can't wait to try more of their products. So I got some more stuff from Beauty Pie. They actually gifted me a membership and I am using it to just try everything, but they sent me these and that's what I've got my hair up with right now. Y'all, these are the truth, okay? These are the Beauty Pie 100% silk hair scrunchies, and I love a good scrunchie. I do, but I don't always want the scrunchie look, you know, because I don't have a whole lot of hair, so like you'll usually be able to see the scrunchie, but these are little BBs. They're little baby scrunchies. And they're silk, so they don't rip my hair out. So what I tend to do is I get out of the shower and it's like my ends are ruined because of this. I get out of the shower and I always like comb my hair back and put it in a bun to let it dry because that basically flattens out the top of my hair and then the bottom of my hair can dry on its own later. Crash. I don't mind a little bit of more wave, but it just gets it out of my way without having to heat style it right then and there. And I have just noticed that the elastics are just tearing up my ends because of me doing that while my hair is wet every single time. I mean, duh, I knew that it would. It's kind of like a risk-benefit assessment. Whatever. My point is I knew what I was getting myself into, and I kind of thought of it as like a worthy sacrifice just to not have to heat style my hair. But these are so slippy slidey and they don't catch on my hair. So I can use these now, and they're actually just as effective as a regular elastic. They just are coated in silk. My family doesn't watch my videos, so they won't know that I said this, but I'm buying these as stocking stuffers for like my mom and my sister and my cousin because they're awesome. And Beauty Pie, I don't think that they're still doing it, but they did like, or no, actually I think that they're doing a 30-day free trial for like everybody or something. So you don't have to buy the membership right away. You can just try some stuff. And I think these are like $17 because, you know, they're silk. Now you guys might have watched, I made it was pretty short compared to a lot of my videos, but I finally did my fall haul where I shared with you guys like the big items that I've been really excited about that I bought for fall. And I have been more of in an investment mindset. I'm very tired of, for example, buying a pair of jeans that fits really well and then in 3 or 4 washes, the elastic really wears out. And yes, I know you're not supposed to wash your jeans or whatever, but like, I have a baby. Things just get messy, and baby messes are really special. Okay, they're the kinds you have to put in the washing machine. They're not the ones that you spot clean. So a trip through the freezer for my jeans was not going to solve anything. And mainly my body shape has changed since being pregnant. Like my hips are bigger, but my waist is smaller. And now I do yoga instead of running because my knee is screwed up, X, Y, and Z. My body shape has changed. And I was so tired of getting this big gap at my waist with all of my old pants. So I'm like throwing out all my old pants. If you have the same issue that I do, can I advocate for the Air AYR riser jean? I'm wearing it right now. I will stick in some of the footage from my try on haul, but I'm actually wearing the black ones right now. I ordered the black ones and then I ordered the blue ones pretty shortly thereafter. I love how the blue ones have like the bottom seam has been let out. I don't know, I think it's cool. Also, you can laugh at me all day long, Gen Z, I still like skinny jeans. I'm not cool. I've come to terms with that. And really the main thing that it comes down to when you've tried a lot of different skinny jeans, because the Madewell jeans used to work really great for me, like the 10-inch high rise. The main thing is your butt. Let me show you. Let me show you my butt. Oh no, I'm gonna break something. I'm gonna break the internet. Hey, there's my butt. My button frame. All right, so it's like right here to right here. Like this part of your jeans waist, that part can really drive you crazy because that's where the gap happens. That's where the gap ends. Thank you for bearing with me. That's where the gap happens that will absolutely drive me insane. And the Air riser jeans actually go butt, and then they go, huh? And they cover my whole situation, and they actually stay put, and they're so comfortable, and they're very flattering. They make my shape look kind of like a shape, which I never knew I needed. I wasn't mad at my shape to begin with, but it's cute and I like it. So I have 2 of them now, 2 pairs, and having a pair of jeans that I can pull on every single morning and know that I'm going to love. I haven't had that feeling since I was in like high school. And these are like comfy high school jeans, but that vibe. And I would probably compare them to the Road Tripper jeans from Madewell, except that the Road Tripper jeans are like, they don't feel like jeans to me. These still feel like jeans. Somehow they're like really, really soft and stretchy, but they're really high quality and like hold their shape at the same time. I don't know. I don't want to see panty lines on my jeans, you know? They have been parfait, and I needed to give them an extra shout out. All right. So I have one more fashion item, and then we're gonna move into like media and etc. miscellany, etc. 3 years ago, on October 21st, I married my husband. And so that meant that this year was our 3-year anniversary. It's how those things work. He loves to just obey kind of the rules of what each anniversary is. So the first one was the paper anniversary, I think, and then the second one, yeah, and then the second one is like the cotton anniversary, and then the third one is the leather anniversary, which I have to say is my favorite one so far. He was like looking over my shoulder while I was shopping one day, and I was like, oh man, this is great. And suddenly, the most gorgeous thing shows up in the mail. What? This is a Coach Rogue bag with heffalumps all over it. Is it not the cutest thing? I keep getting stuff on it. People stop me and ask me where this is from. Not only do I love it because it's so high quality and so cute, but I also love that Coach made something that's not like, I mean, it says Coach like right there, but it's not loud and proud about the brand. It's just high quality. It has a shoulder strap. It actually has a crossbody strap. It has 2 shoulder straps that you can attach, or you can just carry it like this. And it's a really good size. My last one, my C by Chloe purse, I love that thing. It only has room for your wallet and your phone, basically. This has a lot more room in it, but not so much room as like my Marc Jacobs backpack that I carried for so long, where it's like things could go to die there and you wouldn't know for years if you didn't want to. You might never know. There might still be things. There are definitely still things in that backpack. It kind of goes with everything, and man, woman, old, young, alike, they stop me and they're like, that purse is amazing. So I happen to agree, and it is my lovely anniversary present from my husband. I got him a watch. I don't know about this framing, guys. It's like my camera's haunted. I want to talk about a book that has changed my life, and I'm not even done with it yet. But it's something that I had heard about in passing for a really long time, and I just kind of blew it off. I buy things on my Kindle, and to me that's like, I half read them already, and then I forget that they're there, and I never end up reading them. And I kind of have this diagnostic mindset, right, about the happiness and lack thereof in my life. And when I'm feeling tense or anxious for a long period of time, I like to journal it out and figure out like what's making me unhappy or what's making me anxious or unable to relax. And for the longest time, it was like I, had a kid, but I felt like the whole situation was running away from me in a way that I felt like I was trying to do everything right by someone else's standards. And I had lost sight of my own instincts as it pertained to like relating to my kid. And I also felt like things were just getting out of control. Like he was suddenly walking and he was in everything. And it was making me so anxious because I wanted him to be happy, but I also like, it's dangerous. They just get into everything. And so I re-picked up this book that I had ordered on my Kindle. Rude. It's called Bringing Up Bebe. It's from the standpoint of an American woman who married a British man who they both went and lived in Paris, and that was where they started having their children. She writes a lot about the Parisian culture as far as the way society supports new mothers and new parents. It's refreshing compared to the way America does nothing, but the other things that it talks about, that the book talks about, that she talks about in the book, were reminiscent of a lot of the way that I was raised, in this way of like experiencing the world, like allowing a child to experience the world, but also for a kid to have firm boundaries, and that they are under, and this made so much sense for me, it just made everything click, they are under the tyranny of their own impulses all the time. And they're constantly having to make decisions in a mental environment where they are very, very bad at having any kind of impulse control. So while we as parents think I have a limit, some arbitrary limit of how many times I can tell him no in a day before I have just been a jerk to my kid, it's not the case at all. That no actually, and especially if it's a consistent no, it makes it so that it's one fewer decision that the kid has to make on their own. If you draw that boundary for them and you're firm about that boundary, like, hey, we're not going upstairs right now, because the kid climbing the stairs, it was one of his favorite activities, but it gives me so much anxiety and it's just a lot of work. It's like, hey, we're not doing that right now. We're staying downstairs right now, or we're not putting our hands in the dog's water dish. Things that I thought I just needed to take away from him or physically keep him from doing, instead of drawing some kind of mental boundary. It basically empowers the kid so much, this book does. I'm very, very much generalizing here, but the entire idea being that kids know what you're saying to them so much more than we typically give them credit for, and that that can empower the whole parent-child relationship by being like, hey, explain to them what's going on. Like, tell them why. Give them preparation and understanding of their environment, and empower them with boundaries where they understand why the boundaries exist, and also trust them to obey those boundaries. And like, we have this thing where it's like, we don't put, you know, there's not like, I mean, he's only a year old, so it's like, there's not these like firm punishments or anything like that, because I don't believe anything is coming out of malice. But it's like, you know, if I say, no, we're not climbing the stairs, and he goes up a couple of stairs chasing the cat, and I go, no, and he gives me that little sly smile, like, I know you said no, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Not to take that personally, because that's just what they do. They're just testing the boundaries. But we take him back to square one. He has this big chair that has his name on it, and I pick him up and I carry him back and I go, you're in square one. And it's just basically, hey, here's your play zone. We're starting you over. We're just doing a hard restart because you broke the rules, you lost the game, you know, you get a new life, but whatever, you know, infinite lives, doesn't matter. But we're bringing you back to square one because this is a place where it's much easier for me to handle you than you climbing the stairs. And at first he would cry, and now it's like he laughs on his way back to square one, and I sit him in the chair and he's like, yeah, I did that, you know? And it makes it so that like our relationship as far as reinforcing the boundaries isn't one of, you know, letting him do something is good and telling him no is bad. It's like, here's, you know, the structure of our relationship, and you kind of get to follow the rhythm of our lives. The other thing that I got from this book, oh my God, and from this whole mindset shift, was taking him to restaurants. Oh my God, I was having such an anxiety attack every time I went to a restaurant, and that's actually how she kicks off the book. She's like, we decided to go to Europe travel Europe with our baby, and it was a nightmare, and I looked around and all the other kids were behaving and I didn't know why. I mean, that's, again, generalization, but, you know, summing up what she was saying, and I was like, me, I feel that. We took him to a restaurant here in our neighborhood after I had read this, and it used to be this just like constant, he was reaching for everything, he was tearing everything up, he was melting down after sitting there for, you know, too long or whatever, and it was just, we never really enjoyed ourselves. But armed with the information that I got from this book, I sat him down and I explained to him what was happening. And when he inevitably started trying to melt down, I made sure we went at kind of a weird time of day, so we were like the only people sitting outside. I just let him melt down. Because my husband and a lot of people have like this urge to go, ooh, you know what I mean? Like entertain them when they're crying, to kind of try and cheer them up. I'm like, let it run its course. Let him work through this. Boredom is not a death sentence. And that is a huge, huge thing that this book teaches, is about like kids need to be able to entertain themselves, and if we're constantly entertaining them, they almost feel some duty to us to interact with us, to be like, oh, mom's trying to entertain me, I should laugh, instead of like giving them their space. Like, kids need space too. And so for him to sit there, kind of melt down for a second and be like, okay, I have to figure out how to distract myself from being bored. He's like, I guess I'm gonna eat some Cheerios. I don't know. I guess I'm gonna play with my shoe. I guess I'm going to babble or like watch a bird fly by or whatever. Like, suddenly the kid is empowered, like he's part of our rhythm, and he's like, oh, okay, I guess we're just out to lunch now. And it was like, the whole thing shifted. And now he sits in a high chair at a restaurant. He has a great time. We can sit there, my husband and I can have a couple of drinks, you know, within reason, and really, really enjoy ourselves and enjoy him, and he can enjoy himself with us, and we can be a family with a 1-year-old at the table, and he's not melting down or anything. It's amazing. It like changed my entire way that I look at my weekends. And now he also sits with us at dinner and eats his dinner, and if he starts melting down, we just explain to him, it's like, hey dude, we're not done eating. It's not all about you. And it's like he gets it, which is wild. And now he like confidently just sits there and eats. And actually, he's gotten so relaxed that he takes his time. He usually spends longer eating his dinner than we do because we've gotten so in the habit of rushing to eat because it used to be such a three-ring circus. And now it's like, you know, he's just a part of the family. So that was a really long-winded way of basically going over the first half of the book, which is as far as I've gotten. But, you know, I don't agree with every single thing that she says. And there's a lot of kind of coded body shaming in it because she talks about how French people are so concerned with like not gaining weight and losing weight and stuff after pregnancy. And so I haven't really made heads or tails of that part of it yet, but I have gotten some really, really helpful mindset shifts out of it that have helped me coexist with my child in a way that I think makes both of us happier. So yeah, big fan of bringing up Bebe, like Moira Rose. Bebe. I was gonna talk about Only Murders in the Building. I was gonna talk about the way that they chose to end the third season of What We Do in the Shadows. But you know what? It's all been eclipsed by this show that Mike and I just started binging the other night and we cannot stop, and it is called Dave. This show is about a white Jewish rapper. He is trying so hard to be a rapper. He is disadvantaged in a lot of ways that he'll be the first to tell you in the show. And he also has the most preternatural confidence that I have ever seen in a character on a TV show. And watching the way that this show has been scripted, watching the way that it is acted, watching the way that it is executed, it is so delicately walking this perfect tightrope of humor, timing, character development, acting, direction, production, conceptual, being original. It's super original. It's one of the most addictive shows that I've ever watched. Like, you just can't take your eyes off of it. Usually when I'm watching a show, I'm kind of like tempted to open my phone up and be like, ugh. You know, like Mike and I have been trying to rewatch, I mean, him rewatching, me watching for the first time, The Sopranos. And I'm like, you know, hypothetically, I'm interested in this, but like moment to moment, I'm kind of not that interested in this. But I cannot take my eyes off this show, Dave. And there's really not much else to say without kind of like watering down the complexity and the nuance of this show by trying to explain it, because you can't. You just gotta watch it. The best way that I can explain it is, for all of its ingredients, it has no business working. It should not work. That show shouldn't work. And it works perfectly. It's incredible. It's incredible. So we just started the second season. We just raced through the first season in like 3 nights. It's so excellent. It's so bingeable. It's so funny. It's so not for children, but it is like, it is something that is so refreshing and new to me. And it has like pepperings of things that, you know, like his character kind of has a hard time not being a little bit like Larry David, because it's the whole, you know, like Jewish neurotic, you know, humor personality thing. But I don't like Curb Your Enthusiasm. I don't even really like Seinfeld, but this show is just, it's just perfect. It's so good. I hope it doesn't start to suck, but I don't think it's going to. It's so good. All right, and finally, the last thing that I'm gonna mention, and I don't have it in my hands because I ate all of them in one day. If you guys saw it on my Instagram, this is gonna be a brief mention. The Candy Cane Hershey's Kisses are now on the market. I think, you know, basically after Halloween, they just go straight to Christmas because there's no such thing as a Thanksgiving candy, I don't think. These things should be illegal. I have had them before, but never a bag of my own. It was like someone had given me a few before and I was like, those are insane. Those are so good. And then I just like let it go because they were like dangerous. And I was under the impression that probably they're so sweet that you'll eventually get tired of them. The way that I do with pretty much anything, I'm like, oh man, a box of hot tamales sounds incredible, and by the end of the box of hot tamales I'm like, I never want to see another hot tamale again. You get like a hot tamale hangover. I ate that whole bag inside of one day and I am not even close to tired of them, and that is why they should be illegal. Okay, so if you've never had one, white chocolate, but like it's not like super intense white chocolate. It's kind of like almond bark white chocolate, the kind they put on pretzels. It's got a, you know, a peppermint vibe, like a candy cane vibe through it. So it's like peppermint white chocolate. I'm doing an awesome job describing this. The top of it, you know, looks like a candy cane. They've basically just, you know, colored it that way. And then somebody, some genius in the Hershey's HQ was like, what if we put sprinkles in it?
Yum, 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 yum.
And they were like, I don't know, Bob. It was probably like, you know, Lauren. I don't know, Lauren. Sprinkles, isn't that a little much? And she said, can we try it? And they put sprinkles in there and like, they were like, Lauren, you're the president. Because the sprinkles make it. I've heard good things about the s'mores ones. No, not s'mores, hot cocoa, and they've got marshmallow in the middle or whatever. And that they're good, but like you get sick of them. But the candy cane ones, unanimously, the responses that I got in my DMs, unanimously were like, those things are crack, they're incredible, and I have never gotten tired of them. So that is my sweet of choice at the moment. That is my self-care. And thank you to hypothetical Lauren for putting sprinkles in there, because you are the president. Okay, so those are my favorites for October. There's a light on my face. Yeah. Hey, anyway, I will put you out of my misery. No, I will put me out of your misery. That's what I was going to say. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you did, do that. And if you want to keep hanging out with me on this channel, hit the button down below and subscribe. I would love it if you guys did. Thank you so much for watching. I love you so much. And I'll see you guys in the next one. I hope. Right? I will see you guys in the next one. Be confident, Kackie. Bye.